What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Man Card Podcast. We're very excited that you are here, and with our special guests, we always allow them to do the quote of the week. So, with that, what do you have for us?
Has everyone been staying safe with that Ligma variant out there?
Ligma balls.
Hit it.
All right, what is up, everybody, and welcome back to the show. We had a little debacle before we freaking started, like we always do with these stupid mics. Hopefully we can get a new setup that, I don't know, I guess works in the near future.
You getting a promotion anytime soon?
Hey, shh. Don't cross your fingers. Don't hold your breath. Don't cross your fingers. Don't hold your breath, though, because that might not actually come. But for now, we've got this set up, and it's working. So I want to introduce who we've got on the show. Very special. We've called them out multiple times before. We've got Nick and Olivia. They are on here and are ready to rumble. If you guys just want to introduce yourselves, I think the people out there, the three listeners, would love to hear.
The listeners being us.
Yes, actually.
These are actually our listeners. Future Olivia and Nick, how's it going?
I hope you guys are well.
It's going good. I'll go first because Nick's not. I'm Olivia Webb for now.
Oh, yeah, that's going to change.
We're engaged.
There's a rock over there.
There's a rock on my hand. If you're not watching on YouTube, you should be watching on YouTube, plugging the YouTube.
Yeah, she knows this a little too well.
I graduated with a marketing degree from Georgia Tech, so
yep, that's
plugging all the things. And I now currently teach preschool, and I love toddlers. They're the best.
I want somebody who listens to this that's not y'all to clip that and just make this the creepiest show ever. Hey, introduce yourself. I love
toddlers. And I do.
And crazy eyes at camera. Cue me. But yeah, okay. So Nick, what do you do? Heard enough about Olivia. Get out of here. You're just the bride-to-be. You're the groom. Well, you initiated this whole thing.
Yes, I did the deed. I got on one knee. But before that, I graduated same time as you guys. Yep. And I am now working at ZF doing product design for a commercial vehicle part maker. So I do suspension and steering components.
Do you love toddlers?
Not nearly as much. That's
y'all are done.
They don't. The toddler comes. It's a separate package with the cars. You gotta. It's a little bit more pricey. Yeah, that's the.
He's got time.
That's the Epstein package.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's a little different. But now that we've gotten those perfect elevator pitch intros out of the way,
of course,
I would have hired both of you, just so you know.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, because I'm glad that's out of the way, because I love you both to pieces. Because we knew each other, Olivia, in college. We were in quite a few classes together, and we bonded through pain together.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. We met our second year at Tech. We don't say sophomores there because we do numbers of years, because Nick was a fifth year. He actually graduated in 5.
People are old as hell.
After
I
co-op.
co-op, so.
Yep, working.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
exactly.
5 years.
Just in fifth years.
Yeah.
So Noah and I met our second year in LMC 3403 with Joseph Aldinger, and that was a terrible class. Would recommend taking the other professor who gives 98% A's and not the man who thinks that his class is your entire life.
Yeah, it was very interesting because we went into the class with, medium expectations. He seemed like a nice guy,
pretty
dressed
chill.
As smart casual as we came to know
Yep.
during that class period, and it was a fun time with us. I think it was you, me, Stephanie, and Ben. We kind of, the core 4 of us bonded very quickly at the beginning, and you had shocking blue hair.
I did.
At the time.
I had short blue hair. Most people thought I was very not who I am, which is kind of fun, having a different shell-shocking image.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, it's literally like, it's very jarring to meet somebody and like, oh, hey, I have this instant perspective of you, because like you discriminate people every single day you meet somebody, like you're instantaneously making judgments.
Yeah.
So I met you and I was like, well,
Liberal. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought it too, so.
I mean, you never know. You never know anymore. So I was like, okay, this could totally go one of two ways, where it's like, because we hit it off pretty well. I was like,
yeah.
She's super nice and fun. I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. Once again, I'll say the phrase again. I can be friends with anybody. Can everybody be friends with me? Absolutely not.
Very
So this
accurate.
ended up working out. And so through that class, we grew to know each other, and we had many other classes because we came to find out, hey, we were in the Scheller College of Business together.
You do a lot of group work in a lot of those classes. A lot of them, it's not really you go and you learn information and you take a test. You're usually working on a lot of projects. So like for the LMC class, it was literally just 4 projects. That's all we did the entire semester.
That's literally it.
But they were massive and took a lot of like formatting and time and effort. But
Well, especially for somebody like you. I mean, let's just agree here. Olivia is very, how do we say politely, particular. with
detail
how-
oriented.
Yeah.
Detail
That's
oriented.
even better.
Yeah, it's even better from a detail-oriented
Put
person.
that on the resume.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
on there.
It's a marketable skill, okay? But she wants it a certain way. And so whenever we had design in the project or like we had to orient, how we were going to present in a certain way, boom, let me just throw it over to
I
you.
made so many PowerPoints at Tech.
Real quick, what's LMC? Just for people that don't know.
Oh, that's
'cause-
so we did business classes and we're mostly in the College of Business, but there's also the College of LMC at Tech, which is literature, media, and communications, which is basically where they throw all of the like liberal arts almost at Tech that aren't liberal arts because we don't have a liberal arts college.
All right, real quick. Do y'all know what an MRS degree is? Don't hold on. Do y'all?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes. And I'm not going to fully say what I want to say, but my dad knows what I want to say.
Okay, because I went on vacation recently, and Bella and her family were throwing out they were talking about people they knew that went to college to get an MRS degree, and I got based off what they were saying, I knew it had to be someone with be staying home mom or going to get married or whatever kind of degree. But I was sitting there MRS, male responsibility. Safety net degree, but it's totally not that. So MRS degree is literally Mrs. It's the Mrs. degree.
Right.
So yeah, I just figured I'd throw it out there because I was stupid.
Yep, Georgia Tech is ranked #1 in the country for finding your MRS degree if you look at articles online.
Or for at least finding a man. We're pretty male
That's
A lot of
heavy, male forward.
A lot of people, the phrase they use for tech is the odds are good, but the goods are odd.
Wow, that is great.
Yeah, super good.
yeah.
Yeah, I just know for myself, I'm definitely an oddball. You're kind of weird.
Yeah, no, I'm fucking
You're
weird.
sexy as hell, but you're very
Fucking
odd.
weird. See, you can't have it all. You gotta.
No, you can.
No, you can't.
You got the brains, you got the bronze.
I'm fucking weird.
Dude, come on, man.
I don't got the brains. You hear the shit I say on this podcast?
I know. Well, I only watch out. Coming for this bronze.
I just admitted MRS was male responsibility safety degree.
Male responsiveness service. Just come up with whatever you want, honestly. So how do you know Nick and Olivia?
You.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I technically knew
me.
Mitchell before Mitchell knew me.
I technically knew of you before. Yes. Okay. So you went to my rival high school.
Correct.
And I dated somebody from my rival high school. So therefore, names from different schools got presented consistently.
I was close friends with his ex-girlfriend's twin brother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So therefore, whenever he said
the
Olivia
infamous-
Webb, I was
Did they pass out at 31 Flavors last night?
Well, maybe. Me as a kidney.
whenever you mentioned Olivia Webb, I was like, I know that name. I 100% know that name.
Yeah.
And you keep bringing it up. And the first time I actually truly met you, I think in person was at graduation, per se, right?
Georgia
Am I
Tech
right?
graduation.
Yeah, Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We finally met, and I was like, okay, this all makes sense now. I get it. The face looks familiar. That's how we met. And then we decided to go out on a double date without you because you know what? Like you said,
We're cool.
you can be friends with everybody.
you
We
can-
can't be friends with you.
Yeah, it's I understand the feeling's mutual because you freaking suck, dude. You're just a gym rat. Get out of here. No, I love each of you, and so I always take a lot of pride in finding friends to be friends, if that makes sense. I don't necessarily care. You guys don't have to hang out with me. I just love it that y'all are all hanging out with each other. You know what I mean? Co-mingling, having a really good time. So what did you guys end up doing? Because your original plan to hang out totally bombed.
Yeah, I'll let Olivia kind of describe because she planned everything. It was more so she's like, hey, just so you know, this is what we're doing.
I mean, that's how it was on my end too. She planned it, and I was just following along.
That's
so
this
y'all
evening I was like, hey Noah, I'm gonna cook dinner at your apartment. Do you want to eat it?
Yeah, talk about the invite yourself to somebody else's place. I mean, I was like, great, honestly. My wife is out for the night, so you're gonna come cook me food. This is amazing.
Well, originally our double date was supposed to be to Stone Mountain, but then normally they don't reschedule or give you any money back, but apparently it was right when the Elsa storm was coming through. So they actually shut it down and was like and we're like, you could reschedule if you wanted to. So we ended up going back a different day. But that day, since it was raining, we ended up just going to dinner in downtown Woodstock, which was way easier for both of us because we were going to be going down into Atlanta, but we were both already in Cherokee County. So why go all the way down there?
Yeah, not worth the trip.
Yeah. So then we ended up going there and then going to Reformation, which I don't think Nick had gotten to go to yet.
No, I've been there.
You had?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
Everybody always says Reformation, and I always think, I think it's a church.
Oh, that's
yes.
Revolution. You're thinking
Revolution.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Everybody always said, I'm like, that's a church, right?
They're in the same
a church
area.
for beer.
And Reformation, that's biblically, that's the Great Reformation. That's
right, exactly.
It makes sense.
That's why I was like, and then it's a brewery. I was like, oh, that's a little ironic, isn't it?
Might be part of the ploy.
Yeah, well, it's like pulling you in. They're like, also, bait and switch, we have beer. So come drink with us, please. Hey, Jesus, wine, come on. Hey, hop, skip, jump. We can make it happen.
Hop, skip, nice. Yeah. But overall, that was our date. It actually turned out being a lot better because frankly, we were like, it's raining. We don't know what, Bella was kind of tired. She's like, oh, you know what? We're just going out to eat. And, we could have went hiking. It would have been a lot of fun. But we went to Freight?
Yeah, Freight.
First off, amazing food. And conversation was fantastic. Then we were like, you know what? I'm a little too sober. So we were like, okay, we're going to, skip and swim to Reformation. Had a lot of great drinks. I had a sissy drink, as I always do, a seltzer. Did you?
I had the slushy.
You had the slushy, which was my version, but frozen. Fantastic.
It's very good.
And then we stayed out for what was it, 3 hours, 4 hours? It was It was
just a good night.
It was superb. It was fantastic. But
yeah, sorry I didn't wine and dine you guys that good. Gosh, I guess easy way to y'all's heart is just get you drunk, I guess. The cheat code to Nick and Olivia, just booze. I guess. And booze and food.
Would it be any different for you?
True.
You know what? Throw in some games in there. Ellie and I are there, 100%. We're big game night folks.
Speaking of game nights, that's what we did for our engagement party.
Yes. So let's totally shift gears to that. We had
Hold on. Do we want to talk about that first? Because we're going in reverse order. Do we want to talk about the engagement first and then the party, or are we going to go party then engagement?
Yeah, actually, let's start with the engagement itself because this is a hilarious occurrence, and we mentioned it on the show previously.
Oh, yes, you did.
And I want you to fill in from y'all's perspective of hearing that on the show because us hearing what you guys said you heard made me die laughing. I was on the floor.
Yeah, so basically, I was taking Olivia for a hike. Olivia already knew what this hike meant, but we're in the car and we decided to go ahead and listen
to our favorite weekly podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And so it literally was getting to the point where Mitchell was talking about how if he was going to do something, especially with Bella, she would just know what was going on. And I'm kind of over there gesturing to Olivia. I'm like, yeah, obviously, you know what's going on. It's just how we are with our relationship.
It was actually kind of funny because when we were on our date, Olivia was like, she was telling this story too to us. And she's like, yeah, we were on our way, to get engaged. It's like, how did, we were on our way. You knew that you were getting engaged? Yeah, we were on our way to get engaged. And I was like, you're not supposed to know.
She knew. It's just how we are. We're very open with our lives with each other. And
you can say I plan everything.
She plans a lot. I was doing my best to make something work for myself, but it was
we
hard.
can save you some face. Usually in those moments, people say, "Oh, so you don't wear the pants," but obviously that is very true. Olivia is one of the most dominant forces on this planet, and I am not ashamed to say, being one of my best friends.
Realistically, it was either we were going to go almost Russian roulette style hiking every single weekend for 2 months, and then one of them just happens to be when I get engaged, or I was just going to know the weekend it was coming up. I didn't know where we were going. There was still a lot of surprise and planning that Nick got to do, but I knew what weekend it was going to be.
Would you had preferred you know less, but still have been involved in some of that pre-planning process?
I mean, I wasn't really involved in much pre-planning other than having the weekend available. It's more the fact of I needed to not plan us to hang out with other people for a weekend.
Okay. Once again, it's the calendar. She's the calendar choreographer. Making sure those social events happen seamlessly.
Sometimes I have some friends and we do some things, and sometimes that's involves inviting Olivia, but oftentimes she's the one reaching out even to my friends to make plans so that we can go do things together.
It's like, hey, look, my name is Olivia Webb, and I am here on behalf of the Nick Toledano office, planning an event with you, Nick Toledano's friend. Could you please come to this address at this time on this day? Thank you very much. Bye.
And it's not that I don't want to do stuff. It's just that she just beats me to it. She's just too many weeks ahead in the planner. She's got it all written down.
So you knew going into this event or hike that it was going to happen. And were you nervous? Like you were about to drop on a knee and make one of the biggest decisions of your life. Like this is a big deal.
I mean, I was a bit nervous, but it was talked about. We knew it was a pretty foregone conclusion. So a lot of the weight was off my shoulders. Like we've just known for a good bit that was what it was meant to be. So I was confident that she was gonna say yes, and
gosh, what a curveball that would have been! What a curveball!
She plans the whole thing only to just go, you know what? Nah, I'm good.
What did my dad say when you asked his blessing? I guess.
Something like that. Yeah, he's like, I guess you can be my son-in-law. I guess.
Damn, that's savage.
But he loves Nick so much.
Yeah.
He was definitely joking and easily would have said yes like a year ago.
Yeah.
Like. It's just
I love your dad. And I'm speaking right now to Olivia. I love your dad, and he's hilariously like nerdy.
Yeah.
And I totally vibe with that for sure. Being from tech, and he's like, have you been to their house? Oh
No.
Man. So yeah, we'll have to do a big crew movie night.
Yeah.
Because I think that scratches like your dad's itch for like
hosting
just like perfect when like you have friends over. Because he has like a whole built out movie theater in his basement. Mm-hmm. And like when I say home movie theater, I don't mean just some speakers on the wall and a screen or whatever. This is like a literal soundproofed, if I murdered you in this box, you couldn't hear.
There's a 2-inch air gap around the entire room between 12 layers of insulation.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now.
There's 47 acoustical panels.
Acoustical panels. Yeah, he walks you through whenever you come, so just be prepared. He walks you through the pre-planning, the planning, the prep, the action, the building of the whole thing.
They might as well just make a how it's made for that home theater.
My dad would love that. He loves that show.
This old house comes by. All right, guys, look how too technologically advanced for me, so I'm gonna go. But yeah, he's such a nice guy, and so like to know that y'all hit it off and like. It's just so fun because whenever I go over, especially with Ellie, we had a double date and we watched, what was it? Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
Classic movie, very punchy, and it was just so much fun just to be down there and just closed off from the world, very immersive. If your dad doesn't listen to this podcast, I hope he does because I am in love with your movie room, sir. So please, if you would let me just have a backdoor key, we can make that shit happen, okay? All right. That's enough. I'm done with that.
Yeah, but basically he was trying to do the dad things, and maybe he was just trying to get a little more labor out of me.
Start polishing the gun. Yes, son. What do you have to ask me?
You gotta put up a new TV.
I was gonna say he's not the gun-toting type, but more help build another studio, put up another TV, something like that, and then it would have been a more solid yes.
Yeah, manual labor is what I've come to find out from fathers-in-law. It's nuts. Like Ellie's dad, when we were going through engagement and like right before that, I would go out. He's like, "All right, you're pressure washing my driveway," and I'm like, "Yes, sir." You're pine strawing my entire yard, and man has a big yard. So I was there all day pine strawing. I helped him with his basement, caulk, tile, drywall, paint. I literally was at the wedding, and so he detailed he was like, Noah just helped me with everything. And I think it's a dad thing. Like, are we destined to become our fathers? Like, is this what do you think? Like, do you think you're going to be the dad?
I think it's a good judge of your loving daughter that you care for a lot and the person that they're supposed to take care of her. I think it's a good way of seeing that they are capable and also wanting to.
Do we become our father? It's just like that whatever commercial is it?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Allstate.
They have the whole which one? Allstate. Also, I love those commercials. What is a Mimi?
Who reads submarine novels? My dad. It's like, yeah, like we totally. It's like you can't sit on the couch. There's too many pillows. There's too many pillows.
Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh,
do,
love.
do we need this?
Do we need this?
Crying as he puts it in the garbage can. It's like, and they're in the hardware store. Yes, we see it. Yes, we see it. Blue hair. Like, yes. And I think it's a dad. Like, I think we have to be the cheesy, the corny, and like your dad is perfect. He plays the role perfectly.
He's a dad.
Yeah, he's a dad. Does he have sandals?
He does not have sandals, but he's currently going on a cruise in less than 30 days. And they're doing 2 cruises back to back and staying in the same room. So they just have to get off and get back on. And he's very much in cruise prep mode.
Okay.
So there are suitcases. Everything is out and packing and like planning. And like he has
Everywhere.
specific shoes. He's ordered 2 belts recently from Amazon because now I'm logged in on my phone to his Amazon. So I get all his shipping notifications. So he's prepping. So
Getting ready to roll. Because y'all, so if I could bring back from our double date with Ellie and me, y'all and your parents,
Yes.
we went out to, what was it, Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, my birthday.
Yes, your birthday.
Yes.
And it was so much fun. And your dad mentioned there that every boyfriend has to pass the cruise test. All right? And I don't want to say you failed, but you were never given the opportunity. So going into this, I mean, like, you're obviously not, of light heart going into this marriage. How do you feel having not had the opportunity to pass the cruise test? And what is the cruise test?
Well, you can explain the cruise test.
Essentially, we've gone on a few cruises and we've taken a few of my significant others, and we have, unbeknownst to the cruise, broken up within a month after the cruise happening. It had a lot of other things going on in both relationships.
Oh boy, what is going on
Right?
these cruises?
I know.
Yeah.
So my dad likes to joke that that's the test and they don't work out and then they're out. But realistically, there were other things going on, but it is a sad irony that happened multiple times.
Maybe it's for the best. But in a way, I had a different test. We went on a road trip that was just you, me, and your parents.
In a minivan for 16 days, and we had been dating for less than 5 months.
Yeah, but we went to the Grand Canyon, and it was amazing, and everything worked out. Everyone was amicable, and we are still together. So I think I passed that test pretty well.
That test seems almost, I mean,
That's much harder.
yeah.
I agree.
Just because, like, minivans, I mean, come on. They're pretty small. I mean, I get it, cruise ship rooms are pretty small, but at least you can leave
You have
the
the whole
room
boat.
and you can go to the other end and be like, fuck that. Like, there's no way. But a minivan? You're screwed, dude. So I'm glad you passed that test. What was the hardest part about it? Like, did you find, like, you were just getting annoyed at something? Because, I'm sure everybody has their annoyances with the in-laws at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess...
Put them on blast.
That's what I said.
No,
I love your movie room. Just going to say this. So be careful. I could be the backup here.
no, not even lying. Like, it was pretty good, and I don't have many complaints. I think it was just getting used to who they are as people and kind of, like, understanding their quirks. Like, it might have annoyed me a little bit to experience the way they were for basically 2 weeks. But it was a quick way to get used to it, and it's like I know who they are now, and
It's a crash course,
yeah, it's pretty much saw a little bit of everything. And
Whoa.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
personality wise,
Okay.
I saw
okay.
the
Oh, right, right, right.
personalities.
Okay, because I was about to say,
What?
like,
Well,
Immature minds here. You gotta.
welcome to Make Our Podcast.
I mean, we were in 2 queens, and I was usually sleeping with my mom, so leave that to
Whoa.
the imagination.
Okay, so details you left out, sir.
With
You
a
have
pillow
to-
barrier.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a
A
big
big-
fan of the pillow barrier.
pillow
I
barrier.
don't want to be touching.
Yeah, so please tell me you don't sleepwalk.
No, I basically stay as still as possible, and if I like shift in my sleep, I'm actually woken up. Like I go in and out of sleep pretty easily and quickly, but like I'm conscious every time I move during the
Yeah.
night.
Okay, because I was about to say, like, I could have gotten a little Akko Taco if you think.
We were all trying to sleep through my dad snoring anyway.
Oh, is you a
so.
bad snorer?
Typically, no. But for some reason on vacations, it just gets amplified.
Yeah, I do remember that being a bit rough.
I wonder if it's like part of his relaxed subconscious that he goes, you know what? I'm just going to snore now. I'm on vacation. I'm just going to make this shit happen.
Who knows?
Should I give him a good push?
Give him a good shove and then yeah, just make it go away.
You sneezed yourself awake once.
I do
That's
not recall.
funny. Apparently Bella told me I farted myself awake one night.
I'm gonna have to join myself to that club too. Farting yourself awake is an experience that you don't experience often, but when you do experience it, it is not one that you forget very easily. Because I had overdosed on vitamin C, right? And so I got all bloaty, and I was like, what is going on? So as I was trying to get over a cold or whatever, and then in the middle of the night, I mean, I wish I had my recording thing set up.
I love your recordings.
Oh man, my sleep talking is nuts. We'll have to do an episode dedicated to just my sleep talking. But it was probably like, you know the burp from Elf? Mm-hmm. It was that, but a fart. Like it just kept going. And
pretty impressive.
And I jolted up and I was like, who's here? Who's... Oh shit!
Who came and started farting in my house?
That's me.
That's me.
I lifted the covers up and was like, touch oven myself. Golly, I usually save that for the girlfriend at that time. But I was like, oh man. But okay, so we're about to run over time, and I don't want to run over time. So we're going to send you to hopefully an absolute mess of a halftime show. So we will see you right on the other side.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Man Card Halftime Show. Those are some good jabs there, right there. That was fantastic. You been fighting lately? You been at it?
In my dreams.
Oh, nice. We have Olivia and Nick, the newlyweds, as we are here, just from the outside watching the show inwards. And I think you said you had a topic or something you wanted.
I did, and I actually did on another show that we haven't released yet. That's going to be a future release as a secret episode drop. I've done apparel. So let's talk about glasses. Do we feel like glasses makes people look smarter?
110%.
I mean, not gonna lie, I got some blue light glasses recently, and I've gotten a lot of compliments from Olivia.
Olivia's like
his
amazed
sister.
right now.
She's like,
Oh my gosh, do I look smart?
let me come into the bedroom and say, hey Nick, I'm gonna have to ask you to keep those blue light glasses on for this session. All right, sir.
It's not a lie. I like a man in glasses. Nick just has good vision, which, I mean...
Pisses me off because he doesn't have to wear glasses.
Sometimes, but I've worn mine since, like, the 3rd grade, so...
Yeah.
It's a staple.
Well, that's the thing. That's the problem with you, though, is you actually are smart. So I feel like it's almost like
I do fit the stereotype.
It's kind of like a moot. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like glasses are the best for people who aren't smart because it's like it raises them in the social visual versus you're actually smart. You don't need the glasses. And so I feel like you're like, okay, you check both boxes.
Are you saying I'm not smart, though, because you want the glasses?
That's exactly what we're saying, Nick.
You are so dumb. And what are we doing here today? We are here with 2020 vision. That's what we're here. We got to see clearly why we're doing this halftime show.
2020 was in the past.
No. Listen.
2020 vision.
2020 vision.
Oh, okay.
We can carry our 2020 perfect vision to 2021. So what are we doing? We're having you as not only the guests, but also those out there. What are they checking out, Nick, with your 2020 vision? Perfect, no glasses, sir.
This is a test.
This is a test.
Is it Man Card Podcast?
Oh my gosh, he's a genius!
He's a genius. He doesn't need the glasses, and that's confirmed. Okay, people, yes, mancardpodcast.com. It is where you need to go with your glasses covered eyes. I need you to take those bottom of the Coke bottle, thick old glasses, and head on over to mancardpodcast.com. Check out. We post the new episodes there. We're hopefully in the future going to start a merch shop. We say it every episode. I'm going to say it every episode until we actually start it. And that's where we link to YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Check it out. Have y'all even gone to the website?
I have.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Liar. Lying sack of shit.
No, it's saved on my phone.
You know what? I'm going to take...
I have 2
You're not smart
current
anymore. Never mind. Take it
email
back.
drafts to mancardpod@gmail.com that I have not finished.
Okay, so we've got some drafts coming in, hopefully with some juicy stories that we can unbox on the show. We want to hear stories from you. mancardpodcast.com. We have our email there. Send us some shiz, and we'll see you back in the main episode. What's up, and welcome back to the main part of the episode. Sorry for that absolute mess of a halftime show.
Had me going for a loop, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, you were like, oh, are you sponsored by something that's like not
Glasses?
glasses?
New sponsor?
Like a new sponsor? What am I saying? But you passed the test, manicurepodcast.com, so thank
Made
you.
it.
You came in clutch. Came in absolute clutch. So, my rude self has been interrupting everybody this whole freaking time. So, I am going to let y'all finish your engagement story because I am a rude mother trucker. So, I will not speak, and you guys get to take this over.
All right, so where we left off, we were listening to the podcast, and all of a sudden they were talking. I'm motioning, and then Olivia and I were just totally not expecting. All of a sudden, we get a shout out, our exact names on the show that we're listening to, and we're like, "What the heck?" Paused it for a minute. We're just laughing to ourselves. It was
at the point in which Mitchell was discussing the idea that like Bella would just know, and then all of a sudden from that topic, Noah's like, "Oh, you know, Olivia and Nick, who they know," and you bring us up, and we're both just like. I never felt so called out in that moment on the way to get engaged.
Was not prepared, but it was hilarious.
On the way to get engaged.
I like to mentally violate people. It's a byproduct of my inability to have shame in life. So yeah, sorry.
And then
Total
similar
apologies.
to earlier in our podcast, you then changed topics and never came back to it. So we never knew what you were going to say about us.
Yeah.
And we were just sitting there with bated
Great.
breath, and then it never returned.
All right, so go. So now walk us through. Where did we go?
Went up to Sassafras Mountain, started on one of the inlets to the Foothills Trail, which is right, like, just outside of Georgia, right in South Carolina. And we got going up the hill, up the mountain. Olivia and I were both sweating a little bit. It was a little bit hotter than I was expecting. Olivia's like, "How far do we have to go? Is it going to be really bad like this?" And I'm like, "I don't know myself."
We'll get engaged another day. Let's pack it up for the day.
We were he was taking us somewhere that he had hiked before, and we accidentally went to the other side of the mountain and had no cell service to figure out where we were actually going. So he hadn't hiked this section before, so we didn't know how much the incline or the water with all the gnats, how long that was going to be for at the beginning.
Right. I had pictured going from the other side, but it worked out. It was actually shorter while steeper. It worked out perfectly for the timing. We got up to the top. I had my friend Jake Zirkle, who didn't get to make it to the party, but he is part of the wedding party. He came up and he got to take pictures of us as, you know, we went. We were just looking out. There were some people up there. We kind of waited for them to disperse a little, and then I went and got down on a knee.
Did you have a speech? Did you write it out, or did you just be like, I know this woman. I'm just gonna from the heart.
I had a little bit of a speech.
Oh,
written
great!
out.
So you got it here, ready, go.
No, I don't think I could remember it anymore.
I could say it verbatim, but I won't.
Don't do this man dirty like that. Come on,
I'm not.
now you're leaving us thinking that it was a shitty speech.
No, it's great. That's why I'm keeping it to myself.
Okay, so it was special. I like that.
It was
Keeping
short
private.
and sweet, and that's how I wanted it to be. Something
Yeah.
that I could memorize.
Not much room for error.
Yeah. it
Because
was-
I heard you did have an error with the approaching the actual physical getting to a knee.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were just standing on this rock, and, like, I went to kind of step backwards to, you know, go down on a knee, and I almost fell off
There
the
was
rock.
no rock behind him.
But it wasn't like I was falling off the side of the mountain. Like, it was literally just elevated above some gravel around it, so...
One might call it a boulder.
Yeah,
Just a little stumble. Hey, we all have stumbles before we get to our ultimate goal, but you overcome.
it wasn't even caught on video, so who knows?
Yeah.
No one knows.
There's
No
no,
one knows.
evidence
There's
except
no
for
evidence.
Just this.
Jay. This is just between you and me.
Oh,
okay, there's
yeah.
nobody else listening to
And
this
the
right
internet.
now. And the internet, but this is forever enshrined on online. So you're screwed, sir. Sorry. Got to make you look like a
Sometimes
stud.
It's just like that.
So let's tailor to the females that watch this show a little bit. Tell us about the ring.
The ring. I love my ring. I picked out my ring. But realistically, if you're going to be wearing a piece of jewelry every day
Fair.
for the rest of your God-given life,
Fair.
I feel like you should be able to pick it out or have some say-so in it.
I just wanted to get Olivia the ring that she wanted, so
Sorry,
I wanted
Ellie.
her to be happy.
Sorry, Elle.
But yes, my ring is for people who want to Google it, I guess it's technically called a snowdrift ring from Melanie Casey Jewelry. They're up in Baltimore.
Not
She's
sponsored.
a great small business. We love supporting small businesses. So and
Check them out.
Yeah, they're great.
Were they good to deal with, like
Yeah.
customer service wise?
Yeah, everything was pretty good. Just like an email conversation when we were trying to figure out some of the options, and once we got that figured out, it was like, all right, here's the link, just pay and you get a
Individual
ring
invoice.
and
Here's $1 million.
Luckily, not that expensive.
Just 3 months' salary.
I don't think that either.
Maybe.
Well,
A man never
actually,
tells, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It was affordable, that's for sure.
We got a price. I have a lab-grown diamond as my focal diamond. So there was one other episode that there was discussions of diamonds, and I'm going to clarify some information real quick. Moissanite is not a real stone, but it is a stone people get for their engagement rings, and you want to replace them after about 5 years. They can get a lot of wear and tear.
Okay.
They're better than, say, cubic zirconium, which a lot of people think of like sparkly, like fake diamond earrings. That's usually what those are. But moissanite's a step farther than that, but still not a diamond. Lab-grown diamonds, a lot of people call them fake diamonds, but they are literally a diamond. It was just made by a lab rather than millions of years of pressure. So it's still the entire chemical makeup of a diamond, but there's not as much of a resale value, which is why they're less expensive. Because diamonds are so expensive because of the market that it made for itself.
Just lie, you know? Be like,
Or-
this is real.
Or we just own
I
up
mean-
to the fact that it's not a blood diamond. It's
Yeah.
pure.
No,
Yeah.
Nobody died getting this. They made it in a lab, and it's just
Unless
as pretty.
the lab tech.
Yeah, unless someone just really went in.
Getting it out the door.
This is the last time I can.
He slipped on a scalpel.
Yeah, because they have scalpels.
The diamond lab.
Yeah, he's in there. He's cutting the diamond with a scalpel. He's just shaping it. What a.
He's manually shaving it. He's like, oh, this is such laborious work. It's like, it just passes out.
Done.
Dunzo.
Yeah.
Just thinking of something pointy.
You only killed about 3.5 lab techs.
But I think it was good investment. It's resale value doesn't matter to us because I'm gonna wear it
Forever.
forever.
Ideally.
So
Yeah, I guess to your grave. Do we wear rings when we die?
some people are buried with theirs. Some people aren't because they don't want like grave robbers coming through.
Okay.
As well as sometimes people give them down to family because isn't that what Ellie's
Yes,
is?
that's true. So Ellie's was passed down. Okay, now that I'm thinking about it, okay, I'm an idiot.
It's okay.
Also, I want to be cremated. I don't know about y'all. I want to be burned for sure.
Burned and sent to the moon.
Yeah. Oh, Jeffrey Bezos. What's up, dude? Hit me up, man. But yeah, I was like, that's such a waste of space to be buried. Whatever. Let's not. This is a wedding podcast. So let's turn it back
A little bit
to
there.
the living. And y'all had an engagement party that I teased earlier because I like to jump the gun. Tell us a little bit about what happened there.
Do you want to?
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
Do you just want me to tell this?
No, I can talk. I just want to give Nick some space to talk, and I feel like I'll just talk the whole time, and I know I will.
You got it.
Okay.
You threw that party.
Nick, I didn't.
Nick's the conduit. At this point, he's the man. He's the empty suit that gets to stand at the end of the aisle.
Well, we had already, since we knew we were going to get married, well before most people know they're going to get married, we had already been deciding on our wedding party pretty early on. But we also have a pretty close-knit group of friends. And unlike most people, so the viewers don't know, I'm not having a bunch of bridesmaids, and Nick is not just having a bunch of groomsmen. We're both having all of the above.
Yeah, it's an absolute like who's who. Okay, great. I'm gonna have that told to me about 6 more times.
To quickly go through it, I have a maid of honor and a man of honor. I have 2 bridesmaids and 2 bridesmen. Nick is a best man, 2 groomswomen, and 3 groomsmen. There is a total of 12 people, 7 guys, 5 girls.
Wow. I wish I could say anything that clearly and that concisely about any part of my life, much less describing other people. So I'm impressed.
Thank you.
But, and I also just want to say thank you because you asked me to be one of your bride's bros, as I
Yes.
dubbed it at the party. It probably already existed, but, you know.
It's a good one.
I had to steal it from the ether somewhere. But yeah, thank you. That's so like special because, and Ellie, you made Ellie upset because she was like, how can, not upset, but like funny upset to the point where it's like, I thought I was going to be in a wedding before you were. I was like,
Jealous.
well, sorry. Beat you to the punch.
It's okay. We almost got married on their anniversary, but then our photographers were busy. But we almost were married on May 22nd of 22.
Oh, that would have been so awesome.
But I feel like that was a little too extra, so it's going to be May 8th instead.
May 8th. It's still beautiful day.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a requirement for you to say to anybody who's getting married. Oh, that's a very pretty date.
May 8th.
May 8th. May
May
the
9th,
8th be
May
with
10th.
you.
May the 8th. I was thinking that was like 4 more days earlier. That would have been great.
You could have had a Star Wars themed wedding.
We'll probably have Star Wars music added at some point. You can't have a shindig without John Williams.
Yes.
Oh yeah, instead of what's the is it a specific song
The
when
wedding march?
This is the wedding march when you walk out and whatever. Instead of that, do the Imperial March.
Impending doom.
The first wedding I ever went to when I was like 12 years old, when they did the intros of all the wedding party coming in and the bride and groom coming in for the first time, they played the Imperial March.
Really?
And it was great, and I'm not going to lie, I might do it.
You should.
That's kinda dope.
That's honestly funny. That's awesome.
It's so fun.
Are you okay? So since we're kind of teasing it out a little bit, you are we've already teased this. You're a planner. You're somebody who plans a little bit.
That's me.
So you've planned the greater majority of this wedding already.
Yes.
So what does that kind of look like? Because for us, we did a lot of that planning as we were going.
Well, to Ellie's service, she was in school up until the point of about a month before getting married. And with me teaching preschool, I know that right now summer is my off time. I have a lot more free time. I have a lot more time to do things. So I knew I wanted, before I get back in the rush of teaching and like working on my business, I just had some time to do nothing but just email, plan, get all of my ducks in a row, as well as...
She's been going hard.
I really have. The other thing is, this is not a normal year to get married. This is a year after so many people have either gotten together because of COVID, have postponed a wedding because of COVID, or there's just all the new people getting married. So one website called it a tidal wave of weddings, which is pretty much what it is. Normally, the only two things you really need to book so far in advance would be maybe like venue and like you go get a dress really early.
Sure.
And normally you leave a lot of other stuff until about 6 to 4 months out. People were booked until the end of 22 already. That's a year and a half out. So like
You felt the heat.
Yeah, I get anxious about those kinds of things. And I was just like seeing all these people get booked for all these things. And I was like, I just want to have it done. So that's what I've been doing for the past month is we have a lot of our deposits down, if not already decided upon. And when I have to talk to people later.
So that is incredible because Ellie and I basically cobbled together our own wedding as we've just go back to the 25 podcast where we talked about it ad nauseum, which I will refuse from this point on to speak about it anymore. But we did our own kind of like cobble together.
And it was very beautiful.
And it was fun.
And we hung out and met Bella, and it was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. No, it was. I love how you just over to me. No, I just based off what you said. Yes, you and Bella hit it off like fantastic. Like I literally walked in because I guided her in. I was like, okay, I don't know where she's gonna sit because you know, she doesn't really know anyone else here. I was like, I know Olivia. Olivia's very friendly. She'll at least talk to Bella. Bella sit down. Y'all will just go at it, and they went at it to the point where Bella left and was like, yeah, I got a new friend. What'd you get out of this wedding?
Yeah, the way you were going with that, it sounded like she was about to dump Nick and you and go out with each other.
No, she.
I got a new partner out of this wedding.
No, it was great to hear it, and then also ultimately led to our double date, which was phenomenal. Because honestly, it was Olivia and Bella that were talking, and then Nick and I were just, yes, ma'am, smile and nod, we'll be there. Exactly that.
Happy wife, happy life.
Exactly. All right, so let's go. Hold on. We were at the
party.
Engagement party.
The engagement party. Let's go more into detail about that because y'all's was a little bit more interesting than just a typical engagement party.
Yeah, so I knew I wanted kind of your stereotypical throw together charcuterie board, the fun, the pretty,
Hold on, let's not downplay the charcuterie board. This was the charcuterie board to end all charcuterie boards.
Boards. There was many of them.
There were like 7 or 8. It was like the whole table was its own
Yeah, it was an
charcuterie
island.
board.
And then in the dining room was the other table with all the desserts.
Yes, incredible. All of them taste delicious. Your mom made those cupcakes.
The cupcakes, yeah.
Speaking of which, we did talk about dessert before this podcast, and we did skip that part. So I'm just going to throw that out there now when we're done.
we will be eating.
Note to future self.
Yeah, future selves. Get some dessert. Treat yourself.
But yeah, my mom made Oreo cupcakes because Nick loves Oreos, and then I like more fruity stuff, so I got some like different citrusy fruits and little mousse cakes from Trader Joe's, and then I also got fancy cookies because I always wanted fancy cookies that have like the pretty icing on them with our names and stuff.
They were like crunchy deliciousness.
Yeah, they were like these beautiful almond cookies. They were so good. But the main thing was we like hanging out and we like playing games. So rather than just having everyone kind of mingle, we were like, we should play some games. So we sat everyone down and we had one table learning Azul, which I don't think you were at Codenames. So we had some people playing Codenames, especially some of the adults, because that's a lot easier. You don't have a lot of rules to explain. It's more of a general.
And it fits more people into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have you have teams rather than individual players. And then, of course, Nick was in the living room playing his favorite.
I was helping the boys get down and play some Smash Bros.
You want to smash?
Smash.
I mean,
you were smashing the bros?
we were smashing.
The bros
in the
were
living room
smashing at this engagement
for all
party.
to see.
Nick, your father was watching.
He was watching.
Nick's dad was watching the boys smash at this point.
To be
Accurate.
fair, he broke his rib and really had to just post up on the couch.
Yeah, he was literally.
He was watching whether he wanted to or not.
He was
but
chilling.
we were smashing.
So games. So we were playing games. We were all over the place.
Yeah.
I mostly wanted a time for the reason I brought up the wedding party and planning earlier was I wanted to get all these people who didn't know each other before together to hang out and interact, so that way the next time that we do this all together, it isn't the first time that we're doing it.
Which is exactly what Noah did as well with Top Golf and Top Golf. That was that the first? That was
No, that we did. It was the Winter Olympics. We got together and did the scavenger hunt.
That's right, and you got both sides. You got both the bridesmaids and groomsmen. Sorry, y'all screwed me up.
I know,
with
we got the crazy.
the brides bros.
Yeah, now we're switched because we did like super traditional in that regard, and y'all are like, all right, let's just caution to the wind. Let's just see how many people we can scramble up. A little scrambled egg bridal party. It's the best.
I've just always had guy friends. Like, even when I think back to elementary school, like in kindergarten, my 3 best friends were all guys. And they've always been just dudes. I mean, I ended up going
They've
to
always
tech.
been dudes.
They've always been dudes. I mean, you can ask anyone, even my maid of honor, Jessie, she can tell you that all of my friends growing up have always been guys. But I think it's because I'm a lot more blunt. I don't know how to say things gracefully sometimes. And that's harder when you're younger, when people have a lot more emotions that you need to tend to. And if you're not tending to them, you're just kind of steamrolling past them.
Gotcha.
And I know I did that.
Your maid of honor, her name is Jessie. Mm-hmm. Do I know this Jessie? What's her last name?
Jessie Husky.
Where was she friends with Zach Morgan?
She could have been.
I think she was. And
Same
Olivia.
group. Olivia Reeves. We were talking
yep,
about Olivia Reeves
okay.
earlier.
Sorry, that's what. Okay, I think I know who. I think I've met Jessie
Yeah.
a couple times
She's
before because she
quite
hung
tall.
out with. Yeah, she's very tall. Yes. Sorry.
I
It's okay.
concur.
I like knowing people because I don't know many
Small
people.
world.
I felt like I was just at a fraternity mixer just then. Hey, do you know this
You know?
person? What year were you in high school? Oh, do you know this person? He was a couple years older than you. It's always a game that I don't like to play.
That's why I was never good at the whole fraternity thing because I don't know anybody. You would go up to a fraternity house. I know Chad. You know Chad? Really? Hey, Chad, you over? Oh.
Yeah, and
I
you're kicked
had
out.
I had an interesting time with frats freshman year, especially because, as mentioned earlier, I had short blue hair. So when you go to a
Yes.
frat party and all these guys meet all of these girls and they don't remember them the next day, they all remember the girl with the short blue hair. So everyone would always like say hi to me throughout the week, and I'm just like, okay, I gotta remember all these names because there's a lot of names, and they all remember me, but they all look the same.
Yeah, well, the best thing to do, I feel like girls have a distinct advantage in this, whereas guys, I feel like it's a little bit more important to remember people's names, where girls can kind of just go like, hey, how's it going? You know, like they don't have, there's not that burden of like if you don't say somebody's name, nobody's
Say my name.
Say my name. Nobody's gonna question it. That was really intense. Dude, we need to have a dark side.
Where are they?
Say my name. So where are the drugs? Yeah.
Where's Rachel?
Where's Rachel? Rachel triggered. Yeah, it's like I feel like that burden is not on. I don't know. I feel like you can get away with it a little bit easier. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Guys, you just hit him with a dude. Dude,
What's up-
hey.
What's up, dude, bro?
What's up, dude? I definitely say dude more than your average young woman.
Because we don't care as long as the attention is reciprocated. I think girls care a little bit more because they'll always go. Well, what do girls do? They're always like, "What's my name? like you don't know my name. I'm like, yeah, I do. I totally know your name. No, you don't. What is it? Jessica? Cut the difference? I don't know.
So I was a drum major and editor-in-chief of our yearbook, so I had to know like everyone's names instantaneously all the time. And I got pretty good at it, but a good trick that I always told people was you always ask someone how to spell their name. And then if it's something simple, then you'd be like, oh no, your last name. And then that usually can get you by until you're talking to someone named John Smith, and then you're just kind of screwed. But realistically,
that's good.
Like, especially with like Nick or Nicholas, and then you'd be like, oh, sorry, I meant your last name. And then you're like, oh, Toledano. That's a little harder,
Yeah.
So,
I don't think I've ever used that trick.
Because people will intentionally spell their first name first.
Right.
Because you're just saying your name.
Yeah.
And then that's how you get it.
There's always that awkward period of you learn somebody's name, you forget it, and then you've known them too long to then ask them what their name is. So I always go to getting close to somebody else and saying, hey, remind me what their name is, just so I can get by and make sure that I'm not like being rude to somebody and going like, hey, I've known you for 6 months. What's your name again? Person? Random?
Dear friend of mine that I don't
empty shell.
know the name
I don't know
of.
who you are. Yeah, I was like, ugh. That's how I get through. Other than just saying, hey, I respond with enthusiasm and hope people appreciate my level of interest into who they are as a person, not as their, I don't know your name.
If you give them enough enthusiasm, they just assume you absolutely know their name 100%. They don't even think that, oh, did he know my name? It's like, oh, that dude definitely knew who the fuck I was. Sorry, my French, but...
Yeah, gross, dude. Okay, so we are entering into the last few minutes of the show. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else y'all want to mention about y'all's process to get up to being engaged, something you love, something you hate about being engaged? What question do you guys get constantly that you guys just despise?
I don't know if it's despised, but a lot of people don't understand us and the fact that we are so communicative. Also that we're okay with not knowing some things. A big question that I get a lot is, where are you living afterwards?
Oh, right. Yeah, that is a good one.
And like, would you like to answer that question? Nick, where are we living afterwards?
We'll see. Housing market's pretty freaking crazy right now.
Don't buy.
Yeah.
Don't buy right now.
I know my parents were literally like, oh, you got to have that figured out. And especially where I'm at now, living with a couple of my friends, they're like, you can't be there once you're married. And it's just like, well.
His parents are saying that, not them.
Right. My friends are okay with that, and we're not sure what will happen. I'm not sure if Olivia would necessarily move in straight away, but we'll certainly be looking. And if something turns out, we'll figure it out.
Are we for sure staying in Georgia? Or are you?
Nick's job is in Gainesville,
Yes.
so we'll be
Okay.
staying with it, yes.
Okay, because one of my closest friends, he doesn't know where he wants to live, but he just got a remote position, and so he can leave California, Blake, and he doesn't know exactly where he wants to live. So his idea was, housing market's ridiculous right now. I'm not going to buy a house even though I want to. I don't really want to rent either in one place and sign a lease. I'm just going to pay a slight bit more than a regular rent and Airbnb in all these different cities for 1 month at a time and find where I want to live. So that's
a smart thing to do.
I thought it was genius. I was like, yep, you can figure out where you want to live, save a little bit of money, and not buy a house in this crazy market. So
my hope is us getting married in May of 22. It should be.
it crashes.
Yeah, honestly,
Honestly,
not
I
for
hope this
everyone
shit
selling right now,
burns.
but I really hope we have another 2009.
Same.
That'd
I
be
do too.
great for us.
Minus
right
me
now.
losing my job, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's hope the economy doesn't tank, but like, yeah, let's just
Just
I
a
just
little
make
the
blip
houses
in the
a
housing
little
market.
cheaper.
I hope we stress that this is on the internet forever and always.
Yeah.
And this is coming from me, who has no filter. Hey, listen, I hope
Pull
the
the
economy...
brakes.
I hope millions lose their jobs soon in an economic downturn. This is the perfect way to end the show.
You know, it's great.
On just a positive note of economic downturn.
just like in Top Gear on that bombshell.
On that bombshell, we will send you off into Friday's episode. So be looking for that. mancardpod at gmail.com, mancardpodcast.com. Check us out, Facebook, Instagram. We're so excited you chose to join us on this lovely Monday morning. So we will see you next week where we'll talk about something else interesting. I don't know what that's going to be, but we'll see you then.